Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving straight into a breakdown of the dramatic 2026 Round 8 Austrian Grand Prix. This was a weekend packed with tactical brilliance, shocking mistakes, and honestly, an absolute masterclass in adapting to extreme conditions. We're at the sizzling Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. It's a short, incredibly fast, 4.3-kilometer circuit with massive elevation changes. And get this, the weekend was officially declared a heat hazard, which completely set the stage for a grueling battle of endurance, split-second decision-making, and just pure racing instinct. Here is what we're covering today. First, the turbulent qualifying results, then a rapid-fire race digest, followed by a breakdown of the decisive race developments, and we'll wrap up with the latest point rankings. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Turbulent Qualifying Results. So, we have to start with a qualifying session that sent absolute shockwaves through the entire F1 paddock. Under the blistering Austrian sun, the grid order was thrown into complete chaos by this wild mix of mechanical gremlins and driver errors. George Russell snatched pole position from Mercedes with a blistering time of 1:18.518. But it didn't happen without some serious drama. Russell barely escaped a post-session yellow flag investigation. The tension was palpable. But Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff stepped in and presented data proving Russell actually lifted off the throttle a full 100 meters early to safely navigate the hazard. That was enough to let him keep his hard-earned pole position. Looking at the top three, Russell led a stunning Mercedes front-row lockout. Right behind him was his rookie teammate, the young sensation Kimi Antonelli, coming in about 0.3 slower. But the real jaw-dropper here? Third place. Red Bull debutante Isaac Hadjar stepped right up to the plate and completely stunned the establishment, taking third with a 1:19.303. That is a massive statement from the young driver, especially on Red Bull's home turf. Meanwhile, the session was just a total disaster for the hometown favorites. Max Verstappen locked his rear axle braking into the very first corner, and that sent his Red Bull into a high-speed spin straight into the gravel. He didn't even set a time in Q1 and was relegated to starting way back in 20th place. And while Antonelli did secure second, his Q3 was downright bizarre. Mercedes accidentally released him from the garage with two heavy cooling devices still attached to the car. One rolled harmlessly into the Turn 1 gravel trap, but the second fell off right on the main straight, and McLaren's Lando Norris actually ran over it, completely shattering his front wing end plate. Like I said, pure, unadulterated qualifying chaos. Moving right along to Section 2, the race digest. With a totally mixed-up grid and skyrocketing track temperatures, survival was just as important as pure speed on Sunday. Right off the line on lap 1, the Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton surged forward like rockets. Russell found himself sandwiched, fighting this frantic tit-for-tat battle with Leclerc, where they were constantly trading the lead using their electric boosts. But the race completely turned on its head on lap 11. Debutante Hadjar suffered an engine failure, triggering a virtual safety car. Mercedes recognized the opportunity instantly and executed aggressive early pit stops in clear air. Ferrari, they gambled on having a leader tire advantage and stayed out. Then, on lap 16, disaster struck for Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas's Cadillac broke down, causing another VSC, but this time the pit lane was totally closed for recovery. Ferrari was literally trapped out on track with degrading tires, handing the strategic high ground right over to Mercedes. So, when the dust finally settled, George Russell claimed a masterful victory, completing an exhausting 71 laps in that searing heat. Max Verstappen, he executed a monstrous highlight reel recovery drive, slicing through the entire field from 20th on the grid to finish second. Kimi Antonelli managed to hold his nerve in the closing stages to round out the podium in third for Mercedes, limiting the damage from his chaotic opening laps. Now, check this out. 1.611 seconds. After over an hour and a half of grueling racing, a chaotic start, multiple virtual safety cars, and completely different tire strategies, that was the only thing separating George Russell's rock-solid veteran defense from a relentlessly charging Max Verstappen at the checkered flag. It is a stunning representation of just how incredibly evenly matched these top teams are on race day. Let's dig a bit deeper in Section 3, Decisive Race Developments. Why did the race unfold exactly this way? Why did Ferrari fall backward while Mercedes surged ahead? What you really need to take away from this is how the new 2026 regulations have completely rewritten the rulebook on race management. It's not just about raw pace anymore. This race was dictated by a complex three-headed monster, cutting-edge car cooling technology to survive the Austrian heat, aggressive hybrid electrical energy management, and incredibly strict tire thermal degradation control. I mean, we saw Russell and Leclerc literally draining their batteries to overpower each other in the early corners. It fundamentally changed how these drivers attack and defend over a single lap. Mercedes just interpreted the unfolding race perfectly. Their aggressive pit stop under that first virtual safety car gave them the ultimate track position. Ferrari, on the other hand, tried to outsmart everyone by staying out for a one-stop strategy, hoping for a massive tire grip advantage at the end of the race. But man, that plan catastrophically backfired. Ferrari couldn't manage their straight-line speed or the severe tire degradation in the heat. What was supposed to be a one-stop race humiliatingly devolved into a three-stop race for the Italian team, leaving them completely in the dust of Mercedes' flawless tactical execution. As for the drivers themselves, the psychological battle was just as intense. Rookie sensation Kimi Antonelli had the raw speed to win, but he admitted his own profound regret after the race. He confessed, "I was too excited in the first few laps and made a lot of mistakes. That loss of time cost me." He was overdriving the car, burning through his tires, and letting the adrenaline of battling at the front of the pack force him into self-destructive errors that ultimately cost him the top step of the podium. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you have George Russell showcasing nothing but absolute veteran composure. He drove a staggering 46 laps on a single set of aging, hard tires to close out the race. Reflecting on the win, Russell stated, "I was able to reconfirm my confidence that I can do it. It was a real testament to his maturity, his deep understanding of this complex 2026 rule set, and his ability to remain totally unflappable while the reigning world champion was breathing down his neck." Finally, wrapping things up with Section 4, the latest point rankings. So, despite his self-admitted mistakes, Kimi Antonelli still holds a commanding lead in the Drivers' Championship with 171 points. George Russell's victory vaults him comfortably into second place with 131 points, overtaking Lewis Hamilton, who sits closely in third with 125. Over in the constructors' battle, it is a total blowout right now. Mercedes is absolutely dominating the field with 302 points. They are nearly 100 points clear of Ferrari's 204, with McLaren trailing in third at 159. The magic number to keep in mind here is 40. That is exactly how many points sit between the young, fiery rookie Antonelli and his calculated veteran teammate Russell in second place. This proves that even though Mercedes is running away with the constructors' title, we are watching an incredibly tight, high-stakes inter-team battle. Every single point, every mistake, and every tactical call is going to matter deeply, as these two fight for the ultimate crown. Now, Charles Leclerc noted after the race that Mercedes was setting identical lap times on far older tires, heavily implying they're actually hiding their true pace. And with Max Verstappen definitively proving he can slice through an entire grid of cars to nearly steal a win, the stage is beautifully set. So what does this all mean? Who will truly master these unforgiving, complex 2026 regulations as the grueling season continues? Will it be the veteran tacticians or the fearless rookies? Keep this explainer in mind as we head to the next round, because the tactical war has literally just begun.